Hello, and welcome to Nowstrike. I'm very excited today. I've been waiting ages, and it's finally turned up. So today I'm going to be doing an unboxing video of the latest CO2 powered rifle. It's lever action, shell ejecting, and it's made by Barra. It's called the 1866. So good. I could do that all day. Of course, this isn't the first shell ejecting Winchester copy on the market. Umarex has been making one for quite some time, and we've been using them on our experience days. As I happen to have my personal one right here, I will also compare directly to the 1866 as we go. Okay, so let's go straight in and look at the box. What have we got? We've got the brand name, Barra, fairly new to the UK. It's an established American brand. They make lots of replicas, some similar to some of the other manufacturers, but definitely not really had a massive presence in the UK. So great to see them, great to have this. It includes 10 cartridges. These are blank cartridges, which I'll show you how they work when we get into it. You're probably going to want more than 10 because from experience with the Umarexes, they do fly all over the place and you're probably going to lose them. Obviously 1866, CO2 and lever action, blah, blah, blah. On the top we've got, oh, this is interesting. We've got 177 caliber and in 22 as well. So I'll tell you a bit more about that when we get the gun out the box. And on the back there's a nice little bit of history, just saying where the guns come from and where it was made, and that this is obviously a tribute to the 1866. And very, very briefly, we've got just some detail about the gun, which we'll look at properly in a moment. So, let's get it open. This is genuinely the first time I've actually opened this box. It is sealed with the factory sticky tape. So, I've got my trusty workshop knife here. Let's cut that open very carefully, and then we'll have a look at what's inside. One. Nearly 2 and 3. Just one more point about the box. I do think Umarex do a better job at presentation, I'll be honest, because it's a bit plain, really, but it's not about the box, of course, it is about what's in it. Let's crack it open and see which way round it is. Oh, right, okay, let me turn that around. Trumpets. Ba-ba. Oh, okay, that is shiny. There's not a huge amount of packaging in here, but to be honest, it looks very solid. There's foam on each end, keeping the rifle in place, and obviously in the middle here as well. Right, I think the best thing to do will be to get it actually out of the box. I will pop it at the front here, and then we'll have a little look at what else is in here and take it from there. So I'm just going to very carefully lift this shiny thing out. Yeah, that is very tight, that polystyrene. So it's definitely well packaged, coming all the way from America. And we'll pop it down on one of our experience day stands. Oh, get rid of that. Yes, that is a very shiny rifle. So, well, you gawp at that. Let's have a look what else we've got in here. So it's got a nice bit of padding actually, which is, I think that was protecting the rear sights. Not a lot else in here. There's the shells in a packet. What did that say? Pellet BB shells. Okay, so it's multi-caliber. Multi-ammo. Yeah, okay. And we've got the instruction manual. with a lot of warnings on. Well, it is an air gun, so it's not a toy, obviously. So it makes sense. 16 years plus. I think I'm old enough. Don't shoot pets. Don't shoot yourself in the eye. Genuinely has that. Don't break it. Don't point it at things you don't want to hit. It's all fair enough. I don't think anyone can argue with that. How to install the CO2 in the barrel. That is exactly the same as the Umarex, but we'll have a look at that separately. Adjusting the sights. Yep, oiling, maintenance, troubleshooting. Oh, that's cool. And a QR code at the back to download some walkthrough videos. Yeah, pretty good. Right, let's get the box out of the way and we can have a look at the shiny thing in front. Well, that is absolutely full of bling, isn't it? It's got the imitation, it's supposed to be brass on the original, on the receiver, and brass on the butt of the stock as well. First impressions. It's a little bit bright, if I'm absolutely honest. I do prefer the look of an aged patinaed rifle because it is made a very long time ago. I've got actually, oh yes, up here. This is a blank firer, so it's unloaded and it barrel's all blocked off as per UK law. And you can see the nice patina which the brass has on this is a bit more dull. So I'd be interested to know if there's maybe a way of aging that just to take the shine off really. But other than that, I think it's quite pretty. Now before we get into the detail of this rifle, let's just have a quick look at it going round. Isn't that absolutely lovely? You can see the loading gate on this side. Let's have a little feel of it, just while it's in front of me. Oh, it's quite heavy actually. I think, I wonder if that's actually heavier than the Umarex. I think maybe now would be a good time to compare the two rifles together. So, I have the Umarex in front over here. And actually, my criticism about the brass, I think the gold edition of the Umarex, which you can't buy anymore in fairness, is actually a slightly nicer colour. This has almost got a green tinge to it. Now in the pictures which I've seen of this before I managed to get my hands on one, I actually thought it was quite short, but looking at the size of it, it's actually quite chunky, and I don't think there's a lot in that lengthwise. The Umarex, based on the 1894 version of course, looks to me pretty much bang on. It's a barrel length the same. The barrel's possibly a bit shorter on the Barra, but very similar dimensions. So let's see if they're the same weight, because the Barra to me certainly feels heavier. Let's get a scale set up. Hoping it's going to work. I haven't tried it. Yep, okay, it's on 0. So the Barra is coming in at, it's in grams, 2,846 grams. And let's try the Umarex version. 2,608. So the Barra is actually a little bit heavier. It is chunkier, so that makes sense to me. Let's have a little look round of a rifle. So we've got the intake for the shells, got the hammer, we've got a rear sight, we've got the front sight, but what's really catching my eye is this beautiful hexagonal barrel, which absolutely screams Wild West. The wood on the rifle, such as the stock, is not actually real wood, it's hollow. just like the Umarex version, because inside the butt hides the CO2 mechanism, but it's hyper realistic. It's really detailed. The grain on it looks absolutely stunning. So I wouldn't be disappointed if you wanted real wood. It absolutely looks the part, and to be honest, I'm sure there's somebody out there who will eventually make a wood version of it as well. It does come supplied with this Picatinny rail, which it's not really adding much to the historical feel. It is for a modern, I assume, a red dot or small scope of some sort. Looks like, yes, it looks like you can take that off actually. There's a couple of screws just holding it in place with an Allen key, so that hopefully is removable. I might keep it on for when I test it. It might be fun to have a go of a modern scope and just see how accurate it is, but I think when we're actually using this properly, we will definitely take that off. Safety features on this, it's fresh out the box of course, and the safety catch is currently on. It's got exactly the same safety as the Umarex version, which is a shotgun style safety switch on the rear of the trigger. It's a slide switch, so all you have to do to make it live is pull it down. Currently, as it is on, yes, exactly the same as the Umarex, everything is locked up, it won't move. So we can take that off, and that will now free up the underlever and of course the hammer and so on. There is another little safety I've just spotted on here, because again it's exactly the same as the Umarex, as I suspect they're using the same hardware. Just like the real ones, underneath the stock there is a little button, which if that's not pressed, then the trigger won't pull, which is a nice little feature just for that added level of safety. Let's have a look at the sights next. So on the Umarex version, it has a buffalo horn type sight, which is completely adjustable on little increments, steps, and on the front of the gun, it has the front sight with a little brass bead, which makes it quite easy to sight. Now straight away on the Barra, I can see that actually the front sight is completely black. So let's see what it looks like. Now hopefully it goes without saying, as it's fresh out of the box, it is of course not gassed and it's not loaded. So let's have a little look down it. Oh, I can't see it. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull the hammer back, which means I need to take the safety off. There we are. Hammer comes off. Yeah, okay, I can see down that now. Now the Picatinny rail obscures it a little bit. You can just about see through it. But what's really cool about this one is if you are going to do a bit of long distance shooting, it has a flip up rear sight. And it looks like it has two settings on it, so you can actually get a little bit more elevation. That's going to be fun to test. What I really like about the Umarex is that brass bead on the front, because when you bring it up to sight, it's so easy, it just drops in. So I think perhaps a little drop of red paint or nail varnish might just do the job, just to make that a little bit faster to sight. Now as it stands, these two look very similar in their spec and finish, and if you were to rush out and buy one, then you will probably make a decision based purely on which one you prefer the look of. But there is an extra trump card which is worth knowing about with the 1866. The barrels are interchangeable, and you can upgrade them to a rifled one. Fresh out of the box, this one is as standard, a smooth bore, as is the Umarex, which is why the supplied pellets can take BBs or pellets. But Barra have released a rifle barrel upgrade in both 177 caliber and 22, which is quite exciting, because my main criticism with the Umarexes is although they are not serious target rifles and they're definitely not suitable for pest control, I always find that they shoot slightly to the left. Now that could be my technique, but it is consistent with all of the Umarexes which we actually own. I haven't shot the Barra yet. I'm hoping it's slightly more accurate, but it would be lovely if the rifle barrel which is available for this might fit into this. Maybe I'll try in the near future and let you guys know. Moving to the back of the gun at the stock, you can see the lovely brass plate on the end, which is inscribed with 1866. And of course, this is how you access the CO2. It's very easy to do. There's a button underneath which you push and it opens up. Now, I think this is a fantastic design because inside the butt, there is a little hex key which can be easily removed. And then you place the hex key into the CO2 stopper, I guess, and a few twists, and a few more twists, and that releases the valve, and the whole thing comes out. And this is now where you put the CO2 canisters. It takes 2 of these and they slide in back to back like that, because then it pierces at both ends. Now, Barra claim that you'll get 60 good shots out of this, and as it's using the same hardware as Umarex, I'm wondering if actually you get a little bit more. Umarex send out mixed messages because on their website it says you get 60 shots out of this, but in the instructions it says you get a lot more. I personally find you get a good 100 shots out of the Umarex. So I'll be interested to see what we get out of this one. What I really like about this system is the fact that this is actually permanently fixed to the gun. In comparison, the Umarex version, you push the little button in at the end and this whole butt assembly comes out and it has the captive Allen key fitted, and it's exactly the same valve system inside. You just undo it. Now, this is a really nice idea because you can't lose the Allen key. However, if you drop this, it is very easy to damage and it will no longer rotate. Don't ask me how I know, but it is expensive to replace. So once you've got the CO2 in, you put the valve stopper back in. If it was gassed, you tighten up until you can hear the hiss of joy, and then it would be ready to go. And although this is loose and I guess easily lost, it has got the little cubby hole for it to sit in the stock, and then the whole thing closes down and nobody would be none the wiser that this is hiding a couple of CO2 gas canisters in. So let's talk about these little brass shells. If I line them up, imitation, just like a rifle round, but clearly not a rifle round. There is a little grommet in the back, which is where the pellet or the BB goes. Now, given this is multi-use compared to the other brands like Umarex and ASG, who supply the shells specific to the ammunition, I wonder if constant use of pellets through these will actually loosen the grommet up and not ultimately allow you to use BBs. On the BB version Schofields, which take basically the same shells, you get a specific BB shell where the BB goes into the nose of the shell as opposed to the rear. But time will tell on that one. We shoot pellets on the experience days to avoid ricochets, so pellets are fine for us. The way they work is you take your little 177 pellet, in this case, and you put the nose down front to back and you push it down flush. And obviously this rifle can take 10 shells, but I've got 5 in front of me. Loading it is really easy and really simple. If I pick it up, you take your shell and you put it into the loading port. Now, I've had the pleasure of shooting real versions and this sound is absolutely spot on. Next one goes in. You do have to push quite hard, and if you've got fingernails, you might want to trim them. And likewise, if you're not used to working with your hands, you might feel it a little bit. A little trick is to push the shell almost all the way in and then use the next one to push it in until it seats. So we now have 5 shells. And the next stage with this is to rack it and get one into the chamber. So to rack it, you have to use the lever. Now this is absolutely solid. You can put some force into this, and to be honest, you need to. Let's see how this performs straight out of the box. Oh, yes, it's a little bit clunky. But from memory, the Umarexes were as well when they were brand new, so I think that'll soften in, but that is a very definite click. Now, by racking it, it does cock it as well. And I mentioned the little safety catch in here earlier. That trigger will not actually pull unless you compress this lever against the stock. And I will just remind you, it is ungassed, but I'm pointing it to the ground anyway. And that will release the hammer. So to cycle it to the next round, you have to rack it again. And the brass shell should hopefully pling out the top. Oh, there it goes. So I'm just going to rack it and just see where these things actually go. Oh, yeah, that's better. That one's gone backwards. That one's come off to the side. That's pretty good. This is genuinely, I think, what really makes these. That uber authentic realism. When you're looking down it, you're keeping it on target, and you rack it each time and you see one of these fly out. That's nice. I like the mechanism on that. Compared to the Umarex, it's a very small exit port for the shells to eject. I do wonder if one will jam up in there, just because it is so small. There's 4, there's a 5th one somewhere, that's flown behind me, I think. No, that's flying out pretty nice. Possibly a bit random. I am tilting it towards the camera. Given it's pretty uniformed all the way round, I wonder if shells will fly out both ways. On the Umarex, they do tend to fly out one way because of the way it's angled. But yeah, that's cracking. Love it. Oh, I could do that all day, and you know what? I probably will. Of course, if you'd like to come and have a go and shoot this before I completely wear it out, then check out our experience days, the link for which will be in the description of this video, where you can spend 2 hours with us with some cowboy fun, shooting every type of CO2 airgun in the Western style, which is currently available. In conclusion, this is an absolutely stunning bit of kit. It's solid to hold, it has a great weight. I love this rear sight, this flip up rear sight for distance. I can't wait to try that out. The wood finish, despite being imitation, is absolutely lovely to look at. The octagonal barrel really gives it that 19th century vibe. The mechanism seems to work exceptionally well, and that's only going to get better through use. And although the gold finish is a little bit bright for me, I don't think you can disagree that it looks absolutely stunning as is. And I really can't wait to get outside and put this properly through its paces. I just need the British weather to give us some sunshine, and I will be out there. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that notification bell. And I will see you next time out on the range with the Barra 1866. Now, where did that shell go?